Hey everyone, it's Justine. Welcome to another stamp review where I review card making products, mainly tools, based on 5 categories: storage, tool integration, affordability, multi-purpose, and performance. And we'll go through what all those categories mean and how I rate this product here that we're going to be reviewing today. Today, I'm reviewing the Glue Precision Press from My Sweet Petunia. And this tool here promises that it will be easier to use your glue, meaning anybody who has trouble with their hands, it's got a little bit of an easier squeezing device. Kind of looks like a glue gun in a way. And also, it's supposed to prevent any sort of clogging. Now, I don't have an issue with squeezing glue bottles per se, but I definitely have an issue with all of my glue bottles clogging. I also have an issue with glue bottles in which I stick a pin inside. Sometimes the pin rusts if it's not the right type of pin. Oftentimes the ball on the top of the pin breaks off and then it's useless. And even sometimes, and I don't even know how this is possible, when I have the pin in my tool, still doesn't come out. Like maybe the hole's just too small. I have no idea. But clogging is a definite issue for me. Now, originally when I saw this product, I thought to myself, okay, I love the message behind it. It's going to solve my problem about clogging glue. However, I'm not a big fan of the look of the tool itself. Is it going to be too big, too small for my hand? How's it going to work exactly? Am I actually going to be taking it all the time in and out of this holster? Where am I going to put it? I was pretty skeptical, I'm not going to lie, that this wasn't going to work. So let's dive into the review and see if My Sweet Petunia proved me wrong. All right, so the Precision Glue Press comes with the Precision Glue Press itself. It looks almost kind of like a glue gun. Comes with a stand to put it in, a 60 milliliter bottle of Nouveau Deluxe adhesive glue, and it comes with 2 bottles. So one of them has a normal tip and one of them has a fine tip. And these are fillable with any type of glue that you use that isn't solvent based. So usually any type of craft glue, you're all good to go. So although the Glue Precision Press is very versatile in the fact that you can fill it with any type of glue, you can't use any type of glue bottle. So just keeping that in mind for when you're grabbing the Glue Precision Glue tool or you're considering it for a purchase. Let's get into the storage of it. Now you can store this 2 ways. You can store it using the stand, which is the essential part in preventing the clogging of the glue. If you choose not to store it using the stand, you're going to have to put the lid on the glue, and therefore you're kind of back to where you started. Although the lid does come with a pin inside, it doesn't always necessarily mean that you're going to get that full promise of non-clogging. So as far as storage goes, I recommend having this directly on your craft surface. It's not very big. And just remember when you're using it to put it back in the holster when you're finished, because leaving it out for an hour or 2 could cause it to clog as well. The idea behind the clogging is when you stick it into the holster and the tip goes into the silicone pad here, this is what's preventing the air from going in and the glue from drying out. So you definitely need to put it back in the holster as you're working. And so because you can't just kind of pick and choose where you're going to store it, it has to sit in its holster on a surface in order to get the proper use out of it. I'm giving this a 4 out of 5. If I would have given it a 5 out of 5 if I could store it anywhere. Let's chat about affordability. At the moment, on the My Sweet Petunia website as well as scrapbook.com, I see it retailing for $34.99. Is it worth the price? Is it affordable? Of course, affordability is very subjective based on your budget. When it comes to affordability, I like the fact that it already comes with a bottle of glue, because a bottle of glue like this retails for I think around $6 or $7. So when I take that into account, the Precision Glue Press then is around $28 roughly. And I think that considering the innovation that has to go behind it, the packaging, developing the idea, having a manufacturer manufacture this, and as well, I mean, you have to say the card making industry is small. It's not like you're going to be ordering 3 million of these and you can get them for a cheaper price from a manufacturer. I do believe that the pricing is very fair. Are you willing to spend $28 or $35, depending how you look at it, on something that allows your glue not to clog? To me, it's worth it. Absolutely. So I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5. Now, does the Precision Glue Press actually deliver on its promise of not clogging? That is probably the best question here. So for me personally, it's really, really hard to say because I do know that as far as glue goes, it also is very much affected by your environment and the climate that you live in. For me personally, as long as I've kept the glue in the holster, I have used this without any clogging issues whatsoever. I've also left the precision glue for several weeks at a time, several meaning like 2, 3, where I haven't gone in and used it at all because I haven't crafted. And I came back and again, it worked no problem. That was without the lid being stored in the holster with the tip against the silicone pad. So well done, my sweet Petunia, you've delivered on this promise. The other thing I'm going to talk about as far as performance goes is the fact that this is supposed to be easier to squeeze than a glue bottle. So I'm guessing also designed for people who have any sort of issues with their hands. I did find it, however, easy to squeeze, but I do have to say that it felt very comfortable in my hand, and I have larger hands. And so I'm kind of wondering and questioning if you have really small hands, if it's going to be comfortable to squeeze the trigger on this. So if you're using the precision glue press at the moment and you maybe have smaller hands, I would love to know in the comments below how you find it to squeeze. The third promise as far as precision goes, that goes along with the precision glue press, is the fact that it is going to create an even flow of the glue on your page. Now, using the regular applicator and the fine applicator, I do find with the regular applicator, this has been my experience for sure. With the fine applicator, I have to say that it hasn't been 100% perfect in this regard. I do get glue coming out of it all the time, but I don't find that it's the same amount of glue always. Like sometimes it's thinner in certain areas or thicker in certain areas. But that precision tip there does help keep it very much under control, so I'm able to glue very intricate things easily. So not the end of the world or anything like that, but I'm not really sure if the flow really is all that perfect in this design. So for that reason, for the performance, for how it fits in your hand, for the flow of the glue and the non-clogging, I'm going to give this a 3.5 out of 5. And again, for me, the most important thing was the clogging issue. But I know for you, that might not be the most important reason why you're investing in this precision glue press. So I want to give it a fair rating in this sense. For me personally, I rate it as a 5 out of 5 because I don't have the clogging issue and I'm super happy with that. But with the other two things, I could see a potential for an issue there. All right, let's get into tool integration and multi-purpose. Oftentimes, I group these two categories into the same discussion. Tool integration means, does my precision glue press allow me to take out other tools in my craft room or in order to and get more use out of them? And multi-purpose for me means, can I do different techniques with it? Can I do different things with it? And for this, I don't really find it super applicable, this category, to the precision glue press per se. Of course, it allows me to glue my projects together in a better way, a more efficient way, an easier way, a non-clogging way, that kind of thing. But is the precision glue press causing me to take out things I already own or try out techniques or different techniques or things like that? Not really. And it's not because it's bad in these categories, it's just because it's not the most applicable tool for these categories as far as the stamp review process goes. All right, so to recap, we have 4 out of 5 for storage, 4 out of 5 for affordability, and 3.5 out of 5 for performance for my final review. Thank you everyone for joining me for another stamp review. Here I have a playlist on the products that I've already reviewed this year. It's a relatively new series, but I do have a few videos in the library already if you'd like to check them out. And I'm going to continue these in the future, so if you have any suggestions on what I should review next, please let me know. Thanks so much, and I will see you over here in this playlist.